and I grew up. This is what I'm born to do. Wait till you see. Watch my video.
What do you do when that comes up?
What I have found is the more they tell me they're going to be a champion, the less they actually want to be a champion. Most of the guys that I watch don't say anything to me. They just go and they do their thing. And then I'll be like, oh, this kid's good. But the more they're saying, I'm going to be a world champion, you don't know how bad I want it, that's masturbatory, right? It's like, they've already lived that moment, so why would they do it? It's like in their imagination, thing. So like why, it's like the Rocky thing, like you watch the movie, that's going to be me. But Rocky has nothing to do with fighting. The highs have nothing to do with fighting. Literally nothing. The highs last, what, a week? Tops? And then if you're a real fighter, you want to do it again. Though, isn't it? Yeah, I'm not arguing that. But I will say that the most of being a fighter is dealing with disappointment and grinding and so
I was going to say, then there's the incumbent depression that is always present.
Afterwards.
And then always then the incumbent stress that comes on of the phone call. Oh my God, who's the next guy? Who's going to be like? There's all these cycles of the cortisol that's just spiked all the time.
Yeah,
and that's like those guys. Like they'll never. I don't think I ever understand that.
I still go to Greg and kind of flashback, like when I go to sparring on Mondays or whatever, so I'll still go to Greg and do the same, like, hey, what about this kid over here? Who's this kid? All right, and get the lowdown on the new guy or whatever, and like, is he a real guy or not a real guy? Or
then he waits for Cabby to get tired, but hey, let's go a couple rounds.
That's a good trick.
That's absolutely true.
Hey, you did 5 rounds? All right, come on, let's go.
One of my favorite videos is when you're fucking around and
So when I came, and Gary was like, man, I really like you. I was like, you really want me to be part of your team? Like, I remember I called my grandma, like, I'm not coming home. She's like, what do you mean? I'm like, oh, you gotta sell my house and bring my shit down. And I literally never went home.
And we were living on bunk bed.
And I went on bunk bed. Seriously, I came down here and I never left. And like, I never went home. My grandma sold my house and would just make trips down here with truckfuls of shit and bring everything down to me. I never left. Like, it was so much an honor for Greg, like, want me to be part of his team.
Right. I did the same thing, you know, now I think about that. I came up here from Northern New Mexico, I met Greg once. I came down at the same time, met Greg at the same time. That's it, I'm going up to Albuquerque.
That's it, boom. Yeah, it's crazy. God damn, if only you guys were hot chicks.
Right? You know when Liddell said that, he's like, why do I gotta be a part of a sport where it's just truckers that like it's awful.
Or the super hot chick comes to you like, oh my God, my boyfriend loves you. And you're like, yeah, go fucking whatever.
Right, great. High five, thanks. Thanks. At that time, there was like, I don't know if there was a real thing, but there was talk about like no more 55ers can come in the gym for a while.
It was
like
so
We
deep.
topped out, yep, that's for sure.
There was a lot of guys, man.
Yeah, it was a good time. I look back very fondly on those years. It was a lot of good times. It's cool that we're still like, I mean, some of us are retired, some of us are still fighting. We still all get together and stuff. That's kind of why I got in this business in the first place. So
that's what I don't think any of those guys understand. It's not the lights and shit. It's like it's the brotherhood that kind of comes up from. I mean, it's like that. I can only imagine like what it would be like for guys like a Tim Kennedy or something like that. But like in this little way, in this like contrived kind of way of this fight sport, that kind of fellowship and to go and suffer together like that, man, it's been a huge honor, man. Like that's something else.
Absolutely.
Yeah, and that's the thing too. I was thinking about like, and that's the thing. You got to fall in love with suffering. You got to love. A dude hit me up on Snapchat. I'm sure you're on Snapchat, right, Greg?
For sure. Every day.
Yeah.
It's all on Snapchat, Facebook, Instagram.
He's like, is that an STD?
Yeah. I'm married. I don't have.
But and he's like, well, how do you do it? Like, and how do you stay motivated and stay, to get to the gym and to go do jiu-jitsu and this and all this kind of stuff? And I just thought about it. It had been a long time since I go. He says, because I'm tired after work. Like, there's all the reasons, right? And I'm like, there's dudes that have excuses, and then there's dudes that are doing the shit so much that they don't have time to think about the excuses. The excuses don't exist. And like that became the thing. I go, I'm gonna work this shitty bouncing job. Because then I can train in the day. I fit my life around the thing that I wanted, and that's what you have to do. Like, and otherwise you have excuses that you live by. So you're either proactive or you live in those excuses.
Yeah, that translates to the fighting itself too. I talk about like when I was fighting, I was never a great athlete. I was never very good at one thing. I was never very strong, whatever. But I was always good at suffering.
Yeah, strong. Yeah.
Whatever.
That's great.
Yeah. But up on a cowboy, and that's what I say about Cowboy too, because he's the same way as what I remember myself being. Is like Cowboy's good at suffering, man. Like like that beginning of the fight, that's the hard part of the fight. When you walk in and you're supposed to do a game plan, you're supposed to do things and whatever, and the lights are still bright. But when it gets into that second round or whatever, and you start suffering, and it just becomes like a war of wills, you know, battle of wills and all that. Like that's where you shine now. Okay, this is now I'm the home.
You feel them break, right?
Oh, we feel them break. That's fantastic.
Oh my God, they're not. I mean, for the people who don't know what we're talking about, like. I couldn't even explain to you what that feeling is. You could just feel that you could
I got it. Yeah.
overpower someone's willpower.
I can watch your fights.
Now you can
watch your fights. I can see the look on your face. Like, all right, wait till this next round.
Or you can see, them and go, they're done now. They're waiting. They're hoping that he puts together a couple of combinations that put him down. But you can see it in the opponents out there. You can see it.
On the other end, there's that moment. It's a beautiful moment too, where this is. You had kind of thought, oh, this is where most people would break.
Yeah.
Right. And then you turn and you face what's coming to you, like, and you don't. Like, that's a beautiful thing too, you know.
Yeah, and it's like people always ask me, God, Greg is a master of game plan. Like, you guys must sit down for hours and game plan. And I say, well, I'm a little different than most people. Like, I'm sure he gets game plans for everybody. For me, we just like, how can we start the first fucking 30 seconds of this fight? Let's just start with that. Let's just start. How can we start the first 30 seconds of this fight? Because that's what we need to focus on. Right?
After that,
whatever. Just go out there and every time you and I train, Keith, you always give me the same words of advice. Come, go out there and get tired. You know, like in that. And to me, that's what I try and do. Like, I'm always in shape. You know, with all the Budweiser and not training that people think I do.
But that's the biggest fear, though, is to get tired, because you go out there and you're tired. You're
that's the worst
the way you can,
yeah.
you know, and you can't give what you want to give, and that's the biggest fear. It's not about the guy knocking you out or the guy being a big scary guy. It's like about myself. Like, how do I feel? Am I gonna go get tired? And fuck that, man. Just go get tired.
When have you ever felt more crippled than when you didn't feel like you could answer because you were sucking wind so hard and you're fatigued and you just had there's nothing that feels that bad.
I tell you what, though, there's no better than you to get me pumped up. There's no better feeling in the world, right? You were just talking about that. After the fight's over and whatever decision when you know you won, but you can't even lift your hands because you're so goddamn tired from the core, man.
From the core. And then you wake up the next day and every muscle hurts. Like, oh my God, so sore.
But that's. Yeah.
I love that Randy Couture would say that when he was like, as an older guy, he says the only difference.
Good for you, but
they
for
say
regular life,
your base, your skull, and those kind of automatic functions come up.
Yeah, and I lived in that brain fog otherwise. And so anyway, so I got into the good diet and nutrition, and we started preaching that. And the coffee is like butter coffee, things like that was just like a way to introduce not eating all the time, intermittent fasting, high fats in your diet and all that.
And I intermittent fast just because I move so fast in life that I don't have time to eat. So that's what I do.
So when you do that, like there's a
handful of Skittles and fucking rock and roll.
But see, that's kind of opposite though. Yeah, but it's kind of opposite though, and that's what this is all about. Like getting the high fats in your diet will keep you from eating your muscle. Using your muscle
You know what I hate about Cowboy saying that?
Yeah.
Is because I usually say it's usually a fat guy that's like, well, I eat pretty good most of the time, and then like Ruben will say, can't argue with results. but then you look at Cowboy cocksucker is like, yeah, I just eat garbage all the time, and then I sometimes I don't eat for a while, and then I swallow a multivitamin and some beer, and I'm
you're burning calories.
In Cowboy's defense, he only has an eighth of a stomach or something.
Yeah, that's true. A lot of people don't know that.
Yep.
Yeah.
So
they're like, I want to be ripped like Cowboy. I said, go ahead and cut your stomach out and get a taste.
So here's a funny story about my half stomach. Ready for this? I'm a big actor now. Did one episode of Always Sunny in Philadelphia.
Good for you.
So we had to do. Me and Paul Felder had to do this role where the guys make this crow milk, right? And the crow milk they make it from protein, blah blah blah. Anyways, it's supposed to be like get you big. Well, we take it because I was playing myself because it makes you shit and throw up. So in the scene, we're shitting and we're throwing up, right? So they get like this cream of mushroom and this almond milk. I'm supposed to put it in my mouth. I'm supposed to say these lines, then I'm supposed to throw up. So it can't be real. But with my half a stomach, if I just drink a bunch, that's the problem why I can't rehydrate because it makes me throw up. So it's like, well, let me just pound this almond milk and I'll throw up for real. So Charlie and Matt come in and I fucking
real method.
I drink it, right? Method actor. So I start puking, and the reaction of everyone in the room was fucking priceless, man. Just because I'm like puking for real. So that's the issue with my stomach. You know, I can't eat or drink a lot.
I can't wait to see this.
Yeah. So Probably gonna win like, what do you win? SB? Is that what do you get from TV shows?
Not sure.
No.
I think it's
SB.
SB.
Probably get like an
Academy
two or three
Award.
of them. You get 3 of them? Probably get 3.
You probably get a hat trick. They call it.
I'm very excited about it.
When did you film it?
We did it in LA for the UFC 199.
Was it you and Cub did it?
Your Cub was in there too, Cub. Yeah,
Fucking awesome.
It was so fun. It was fun playing me, and I was so worried because they gave me pages of lines, and I'm like, oh, I don't ever remember all these lines and blah blah blah, right? But then Danny DeVito was doing his, and the son of a bitch changed his lines. They shot the same scene 12 times, and 12 times he had a different approach. So I was like, oh, I can do this. You just make shit up, got it. So then that like took the burden off.
That you ad-libbed and all that.
Yeah, whatever I was playing myself, so I could just say. I mean, it was a rap. This is what we kind of wanted you to say, and then I would just forget the line and fucking say what Cowboy would say. So it worked out perfect for me.
God damn, that's awesome. I forgot DeVito. That's the best, man.
Yeah, it was so cool. But and then I talked to him, and he was like, "Fighter, huh? What those like Gracie guys do that shit?" I was like, "Yeah, kind of. I mean, sure. Yeah, that's what it is." But it was just fun to, talk with him about it, and just the whole acting experience, man, was a lot of fun. It's weird being able to like get mad at somebody, but then as soon as the scene's over, you're like laughing and doing it again. Like, right? I couldn't even.
I don't like that. I'm not good enough for that.
No?
I disappear. Like if I have to be
angry at somebody.
angry with somebody, whatever, then okay, we're gonna be friends, whatever. I just kind of disappear.
No.
I'm not good at that.
Even when you're pretending.
I'm getting better at getting my backstory in my head going on, and it takes me a few minutes, but it's still hard. You gotta keep switching.
I would love to play like he was talking about this cowboy role you got coming. That'd be so fun for me to play like a 6-shooter, fucking beat him up. Two things I want to be in life is a cowboy and a fucking pirate. I would totally love to be a pirate. Like but I wouldn't be like a captain of a pirate ship. I'd be like the pirate that when you seen that pirate, bad shit was gonna happen. You know what I'm saying? Like I'd be like,
Right.
I'd kind of like a ninja where I'd do smoke and disappear, but then kill people.
You watch The Wire?
No.
Dude, you gotta. There's a dude, Omar, and he's the fucking craziest character. But like he has like a song he sings or something. And he's a gay dude, this fucking black gay gangster in a trench coat and carries shotguns. And when you hear that song coming, that's your fucking ass.
That's what I'm saying.
That would be the kind of character.
Yeah, like I wouldn't have a pirate ship and like a whole team. Like you wouldn't see the black pearl coming in and know like, oh shit. You would just see me like in the shadow, like fuck, and then that'd be it. I'd just be that guy, and I'd just ride from ship to ship and rape and pillage with all the other guys. I don't know.
This is real. If I screw this up, it could cost me life. It could cost me limb. We've all been injured in here. Somebody like Cowboy and I were just talking about when he was really broke his back climbing. So like there are times that consequences are real. If you can say, okay, in those consequences and in that time, I'm able to stay in this process. No matter what you throw at me, unless I'm unconscious, I'm able to stay there. Then that is the mindset that you want. So if your thumb's blown off, or if you're just tired, or your arms are broken, I mean, everybody in here has fought through some kind of break, myself included. So it's just, can you do it at the time? And for me, it's just about practicing. Your mind is a muscle, and you just have to practice that.
I love that, and I think that's something in our society right now. Like people don't get into the reptilian brain enough. Like there's a small percentage of society that gets to experience that, where you have to stay focused, where it's fight or flight. It's like if you mess up, you'll die. Like, just like not literally. Sometimes you're gonna die, but you just
seriously injured.
Yeah, seriously. Yeah, exactly.
Or
like,
somebody else.
Like you just,
you're responsible for other people.
Even worse.
Yeah. And that's the thing. Like you have a partner that you're responsible to. I love that about that. You can't that you can train the toughness, but the desire. That's the thing about getting people to believe they can try, getting people to believe that they can have that desire, because that's available to everybody. You get to flip. You're in charge of that fucking switch. You know what I mean? And then you put yourself through the repetitions, and you can get yourself there. And that's a beautiful part about it. One thing that I think about too in this, and I've been talking about it a bunch, is the aspect of like rites of passage and things like that. You're talking about high level warriors in this kind of position and training them into that way, or professional athletes that are using their bodies, minds, timing, toughness to be able to exact results. Where does that begin for like you as a father with kids, and like, because there's not like rites of passage. It's like we have to create our own Sparta in a way, you know what I mean? And
That's
so
very true.
it's all this kind of contrived thing, and people would say, well, it's made up, so it's not real, so it's not important. But I would say that is also the hammer that forms the character of a man, And I mean, like, one of the biggest problems that we all know is that, you know, if a dude is a super entitled little douchebag, you're like, oh, he got to be 26 years old and he's never been punched in the mouth. He doesn't know there's a consequence in life, right? He doesn't know there's a pecking order. People aren't fucking equal. You know, there's all that. And so, like, where do you begin that kind of a conversation, or when does that become present to you as a father, as somebody that's made a human, and you're like, I'm responsible now to bring this human up in a way that they're going to be representative of what I think is character?
Well, that's a very good question. Both of my kids, I'm really lucky, are great kids, and neither of them want the warrior lifestyle that I have, and I'm glad for that, because I think everybody has their own path. And there's different, like, I was raised by people that do not fight. They do not fight, but they're incredibly brave. They would do sit-ins in the 60s. I mean, so warrior to me is
different
is,
past the same.
Right,
They
right.
fight. That's a
right,
fight. Yeah.
Right,
Yeah.
exactly. It's a different thing. And I think there's sheepdogs in society, and all three of you guys, if you guys weren't fighters, you would be cops like that. So you just have to have that warrior ethos, or soldiers. But just fighting is where you guys feel comfortable.
Kind of be the worst cop.
I tried to be a fucking warrior.
Sorry.
They told me not. I tried to sign up and be some kind of killer. They told me no.
Yeah, the Army said cowboy's too crazy for
Army
him.
said no. Marine said no.
But so for me, it's just about, well, what attributes do I admire? Well, I admire tolerance. There's a lot of things that I actually admire. Not all of them are super gung ho, screaming, you know, bro stuff. So I try to give my kids that. I try to remind them that they're not, you know, that they're not entitled to things, that they're lucky they have what they have, and I have two great kids because of I think that mentality that both me and my wife share. But I think that also, like, me and my son go camping, and we're uncomfortable. Like, when we go camping, we don't go in a trailer, we go in a tent. I made him eat MREs for a couple of days straight. Yeah, like that, because I want him to know, like, this is sleeping on the ground, freezing cold. Like, we were just up in the Rockies in Colorado not too long ago, me and my boy, and it was cold. There was snow on the ground all around us. We're probably 9,000 feet, and we're both freezing, and we did a couple nights freezing, and that's how you learn.
It's a rite of passage, man. You gotta man up in the face of
You
your
don't go
friends, man.
glamping like me in my RV.
I was reading a thing earlier about that it's important for kids to be bored in the summer, and that being bored is a, you know, we think of all these things, we think of stress or like, oh, we need comfort, and all those things. The more I become aware as a man, I go, those are the things you need to push away. Like, that's the thing that will rot you, give you cancer. Like, go, you know, and that piece about boredom was interesting. They're like, if you're completely trying to fire the mind all the time, there's a lot of neurotransmitter stuff that I didn't really